Hello, this video is for those of you who are over the age of 50, or as I like to call it, level 50. When I turned 40, I decided it sounded a lot cooler to say that I'm on level 40 of life. It just means I've gained that much more experience, and I think it's pretty cool. In this video, I want to focus on some of the problems that can happen to us as we age, especially how we eat can contribute to some of those problems and what we can do to prevent those problems from happening in the first place, and to help us so that as we age we are feeling our best and that we are able to avoid many of the chronic diseases that older Americans suffer from today. So let's start with talking about our joints. I know many people who have needed to have hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder replacements. I also have friends who are around my same age and even younger who have struggled with arthritis, really severe arthritis. And these issues are all impacted by how we eat. So when we eat foods that cause inflammation in our bodies, and those foods are animal foods, so meat, especially processed meats, but any kind of meat is going to be high in saturated fat, and also dairy. Dairy is our #1 source of saturated fat here in America. So when we eat these types of foods, it causes inflammation throughout our body, and that inflammation is going to cause pain in our joints. When we switch over to a plant-based diet, that diet is anti-inflammatory and healing for our body. So if you are suffering with any kind of arthritic pain or pain in your joints, changing over to a whole food plant-based diet, within a matter of a month, you should be noticing a really big difference in your aches and pains throughout your body. I have a friend who really was starting to notice a lot of pain in her hands, and arthritis ran in her family, and she was really nervous that she was going to develop arthritis. And when she switched over to a plant-based diet, her pain has completely disappeared. And it only comes back when she slips up and eats, really processed foods or animal-based foods. We also need to keep in mind that when we move, our body produces fluid in between our joints that's called synovial fluid. And when we don't get enough exercise, our body actually will produce less and less of that fluid, and our joints will not be cushioned. So it's really important to get daily exercise so that those joints can continue to stay lubricated and move well. So movement and the way that you eat are both ways that you're going to help prevent having issues with your joints and your mobility. We've been told all our lives that we need to drink milk for strong bones, but the research is showing that when you drink dairy, dairy actually leaches the calcium from your bones and does not strengthen your bones. So foods that really help to strengthen your bones are going to be dark leafy greens, broccoli, and beans. And again, exercise helps here too, especially weights, load-bearing exercises. Even if it's just 3 to 5 pounds when you first start out, that will help to strengthen your bones. We start to get bone loss every little small percentage every year after our 30s, and so it's really important that we do load-bearing exercises with weights. That keeps that the minerals in our bones, helps them to stay strong and dense and keep our bones protected for a really long time. I had a sweet grandma who suffered with dementia, and it was devastating for her and for our family. And so I was very motivated to learn everything I could about how to protect my mind. There's a really great book that's linked over in the free resources section. It's called The Alzheimer's Solution, and it's written by doctors who specialize in preventing and treating Alzheimer's. And they found that the populations who ate a whole food plant-based diet were protected from any kind of problems that affected the mind. And what they found, researchers who study Alzheimer's and dementia, is that The same problems we have with the clogging of our arteries in our heart and our vessels happens in the vessels that go to our mind. They get clogged in the same way when we eat diets that are high in saturated fat and processed foods. And so when we eat a whole food plant-based diet, we can reverse some of those issues and prevent a lot of the problems that can come with dementia and Alzheimer's with aging. So making sure that you're eating a whole food plant-based diet, also making sure you're getting exercise, enough sleep, and that you're a lifelong learner who likes to enjoy learning new things and stimulating your mind, and that you have healthy connections with other people, and that when you are engaged in activities that could possibly harm your brain, you make sure to wear a helmet. Also, if you make sure that you are focusing on ways to de-stress your life every day, whether that's through religious observation, meditation, just having some quiet solitude every day. All of those habits will help to protect your mind as you age. Many people that I love dearly suffer from heart issues that are caused by the way that they eat. So we love to hear that heart disease runs in families, and we think that it's just going to be our destiny because it runs in our family. Heart disease runs in families because the way that you eat and your lifestyle runs in your family. And so if you decide to eat a whole food plant-based diet, you can actually reverse heart disease, and you can decrease or completely eliminate your need for medication. There is a very strict protocol that was created by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. He has written a book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. You can find that link in the free resources section as well. And he lays out his plan for how he has proven the ability to reverse heart disease. And if you haven't developed it yet, but you know it runs in your family, it's also a really wonderful prevention. And yes, it's really strict. No oil, no sugar, no salt, no to a lot of things. But yes to a whole bunch of delicious varieties of plant-based foods that actually protect your heart and improve your endothelial function. Endothelial function is the name for how your blood vessels work. These foods go in and repair the lining in your blood vessels to help them work more efficiently and help protect you and help you live a longer, healthier life. Diabetes is becoming, type 2 diabetes is becoming a major problem for younger and younger people in the US. And so this isn't just a problem for older people anymore. Little kids are starting to see it as well. And what we hear all the time is that we should be afraid of carbs. Carbs are bad for us, and sugar is bad for us. It gives you diabetes. But what the research is showing is that eating high amounts of saturated fat in the form of meat will also raise your blood sugar just as much as table sugar will. So we need to keep in mind that it's saturated fats and processed foods that are harming us. If you're getting carbohydrates in the form of whole foods, whole wheat, whole oats, steel cut oats, couscous, brown rice, there's so many other ones, barley, all of these, and rye, all of these are whole grains eaten in the whole form that, yes, are carbohydrates, but actually decrease your blood sugar levels. So it's really important to focus on whole foods. Many people who focus on eating only a whole food plant-based diet who have developed type 2 diabetes have been able to completely get off of their insulin medication. Now, the science is still emerging on type 1 diabetes, but they're even finding that avoiding dairy and eating a whole food plant-based diet can actually reduce the need for insulin for those who have type 1 diabetes. Cancer is a scary word, and I remember when my grandpa passed away from colon cancer, being very motivated to learn everything I could to be able to avoid the type of suffering that I saw him have to go through before he passed away. And it was very heartening for me to learn that changing the way that I ate could prevent most of the cancers that we suffer from here in the US, especially cancers that are affected by hormones, prostate and breast cancer, ovarian cancers, but also colon cancer. That is what my grandpa died from, and that is what I definitely want to avoid. And so I switched to a whole food plant-based diet to help me to heal my gut and to heal my whole body and to prevent cancer from occurring in the first place. I have been fascinated and very encouraged by what the research is showing about the power of especially foods like ginger, garlic, red onion, turmeric, leafy greens, all the bright colored berries and fruits and vegetables. All of them have anti-cancer properties. All of them fight cancer. Turmeric is one of the most powerful little root herb vegetables we have today that can protect us, and I put a small chunk in a smoothie every day to help prevent cancer. Also, cruciferous vegetables are a wonderful thing that you can include. So you really do have a lot of control over preventing many types of cancers, and even helping, if you are diagnosed with cancer, to help heal your body while you're going through your treatments. A plant-based diet is a really great way to go. So I think it's really important to remember as we age, it's never too late to introduce a whole food plant-based diet. Obviously, the longer you can eat this way, the better for your health. But the second you stop putting things into your body that harm you and you replace them with foods that heal you, you are going to see a benefit. You have control over your health. You have control over what you put in your mouth, and it can protect you for years to come.